Fresh is here and it's finally time to go back. We're going back to a game that defined the MMO genre, a game that essentially revolutionized people's memories from their early childhood to their teenage years to being a young adult. World of Warcraft, from its first iteration in 2004 all the way till now with its fourth launch into Classic, where we get to once again deep dive into the world that created so many core memories. But I want to talk about why the concept of Fresh is so exciting and why there's so much hype around returning back to Azeroth. Why those vibes seem so immaculate and why people, for every single time there's a Fresh, always have a good time. And we're gonna start with, honestly, the lowest, easiest hanging fruit, and that's nostalgia. And as easy as it is to reach out and grab nostalgia off the memory tree, it's important to discuss it, to deep dive it, because it plays a very heavy part and a very heavy role in why people love Fresh. Because when it starts, the most apt description I have is, it's like taking part in a global LAN party. If you've never been to one, it's very hard to describe, but we're all together, deep in the weeds, side by side, having a journey that is very, very hard to replicate. And I mentioned it earlier, but your memories, your formative gaming moments, your formative experiences in the gaming stratosphere, and the world of vanilla World of Warcraft is one that is chock full of all those memories, the discoveries, the fun, the emotions, all those feelings inside of you. Everyone's got a memory of their first elite, their first dungeon, the first time you got saved by somebody, the first time you saved somebody. Fly by heels, just experiencing a little thing, just a little moment that still clicks right here. Whether it's Hogger, Deadmines, Molten Core, any random quest, the first time you saw the Barons, anything could be that formative, that amazing memory. And if I'm being honest, the things you probably end up remembering probably isn't even anything amazing or top tier. It's not a raiding moment, it's not this. It was the first time you met that one person, you guys quested together for 8 hours straight and then ended up becoming a good friend. It was the first time you probably got your blue. You were like, holy shit, a blue piece of loot, this is amazing. The first time you stepped foot into a dungeon with a random group of people, you ended up befriending them. And those feelings and those vibes are incredibly hard to replicate in the modern day and age. Except Fresh. Every time Fresh happens, for a certain period of time, it's amazing fun. And those things I listed are why. Discovery, emotions, feelings, and raw fun. This is a slight side tangent, but it's part of the reason why there's such a massive hashtag no changes crowd. Because it taints their memory of the experience where they got to have all these really cool moments in their life. But like I said, Fresh really replicates the vibes of 2004 and even 2019. At least the first few months of it. No matter how sweaty or optimized the game will get, and it will, that sucks to say, because it happened back in 2019, and it happened eventually towards the end of vanilla and towards TBC. But back in 2019, around the end of Blackwing Lair, community started getting more sweatier, more elite, starting to gatekeep, pick players that were there for fun and vibes because they weren't performing, they weren't improving, they weren't good enough. Play with them. And in a game like Classic, that should have never really happened. It's not a hard game. It never has been a hard game. The hard part has been getting 40 friends together, like herding a bunch of cats into Molten Core. In the modern day and age of gaming, it's essentially warped our mind, our way of playing. From min-maxing, to following the meta, to making sure you play with people, in quotation marks, the same skill bracket. You're told how to play, not how you want to play. Which brings me back to Fresh and why it's such a beloved part of Classic and why there's so much hype for it. It's the launch. It's one of the very few parts of Classic that is immune to min-maxing, to being sweaty. There's no raid team, there's no GM, there's no Puglia that's not inviting you. Nobody's stopping you from getting into a Deadmine or a Wailing Cavern. Sure, you can rush to 60, but guess what? It's not even out for a full month. You have a full month to level, to do your Prebis grind, to do your professions, to live and breathe the world, without the worries and the fears of raiding and the endgame ruining that experience. And in my personal opinion, the Prebis grind is the best part of Classic. It's where Fresh is so amazing. Because getting a character from 1 all the way to 60 is where memories are typically made. It's where there's so much joy to be found. Not counting getting my Thunder Fury, I don't really have many memories of passing a 99 or doing a 97 or getting this really fast, clear for Molten Core. None of that really is a memory I even think about. You know what I do think about? Oh, I met my wife because some mage introduced me to her because they were doing some open world grinding. I met my wife playing Classic 2019 because it wasn't the rating that made the game amazing. It was the people and the community. And honestly, people are tired. They're exhausted of min-maxing and sweat culture to remove the vibes from the game that we all love and adore. Streamer culture, if you will. Content culture. Heck, I'm guilty of it at times as well. And I'm pretty much a conspiracy theory baiting asshole. Because Classic is not hard. It's never been hard. People just made it harder than it had any real right to be. And for me, I'm going casual this time. I'm rolling a shaman. In Classic, I'm rolling a shaman. I'm gonna go enhance. I'm gonna have a good time. I'm not viable, but it's Classic. You can clear the raid with 40 boomkins if you want to. My guild and community, it's gonna be casual. It's gonna be community oriented because Classic and Fresh is all about community. It's all about friendships, meeting people and having a good time. And honestly, I'm not even gonna lie to a lot of people. Vanilla is essentially the waiting room for TBC. And heck, that's fair. Everyone's allowed to play how they want. Even the sweaty and min-maxers are allowed to play how they want. Because a lot of people will still min-max, they will still sweat, they will still grind aggressively hard and do everything as fast as humanely possible. They will still pick the best class, what's meta, how to play efficiently. Because people don't want to be bad or appear bad, they want to feel like they're good. No one likes to admit that I'm playing something terrible, and they want to be invited to do content. Which brings us back to the hype, because as long as Fresh keeps coming, nothing else matters. At least until 60, at least for a month or two, for the first couple of weeks of MC, none of that elitism matters. Because the world of vanilla is amazing. The game itself was never designed to be min-maxed. It was designed to be a journey, an adventure, to be in a world that lived and breathed. Not a world that you sped through to raid log. And I've said this a few times, but that is why Fresh is amazing. Because at least for the launch, the world is the main character. And you get to watch it thrive, you get to watch it breathe, you get to watch it be the beautiful experience that it is. So I hope you enjoy the game, I hope you enjoy the vibes, I hope you enjoy the world. And I hope you can create new memories, make new friendships, and just have an overall amazing time. Because vanilla was not built around raid logging. It was built around giving you a journey that you can remember. A journey worth remembering. So hopefully, this new time around and Fresh, you experience a journey worth remembering, because I know I will. So thank you all for watching. If you liked the video, like and subscribe. If you didn't, be a dedicated hater, subscribe and dislike all of my videos individually by hand. Thank you all, Ebonheart out. Peace.